Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Mr. Secrets, if you weren't sure whose voice you were listening to. So, if you're watching this, you should be working on online learning assignments numbers 4 and 5, the Factors Affecting Solution Formation lab. So, in this lab, we're testing three variables to see how they affect the rate at which a solution forms. So, the rate at which the solute dissolves in the solution. So, we're testing the solute of sodium chloride or table salt. So, I'm using Morton table salt here. And in this video, I'm going to be testing to see how stirring the solution affects how quickly the salt dissolves. So if you already tested stirring at home, you don't need to watch this video. You can skip ahead to the next one. So like I said, the independent variable here is stirring, and so I'm going to be changing that variable. So I'll start by stirring the solution vigorously, then I'll move to stirring it gently, and then finally I'll just add the salt, not stir the solution at all. So my control variables are going to include the fact that I'm using 1 cup of water in all three of these glasses. I measured that water from the same sink at the same time, and so it's at the same temperature. And then I'm going to be using 1/4 teaspoon of salt in every single one of these. So we have the same amount of water, same temperature water, same amount of salt. The only thing that's changing is how much I'm stirring these three solutions. And then our dependent variable, of course, is how quickly the salt dissolves. Okay, so I'm going to measure out the salt, add it to the glass, and then start stirring. So we'll start with the stirring vigorously glass. Okay, so we got 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to add it to my stirring spoon first, just because this is kind of a two-hand job, and I also need to start a timer, and so it's going to be kind of tough to do that, and that's a third hand. And so this will make my life a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to put it in, start stirring, and then start timing. And then I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see what's happening. Okay, so start. Okay, so I'm stirring this Snoopy glass vigorously until all the salt dissolves. So there's still some bits floating around in there. And at this point, I'd say it's done. That's 16 seconds. So after 16 seconds, the salt dissolved in the stirring vigorously water. Okay? So now we'll take my spoon out. I'm just going to keep using the same spoon, dry it off, and then we'll go to stirring gently. Okay, and if you're doing this at home, if you're just watching this video to get ideas, make sure that you use 3 different glasses or you clean them out each time, because having salt in there already could affect how long it takes for the salt to dissolve. Okay, so now got another 1/4 teaspoon of salt, add it to the water, and start the timer. Okay, so I'm just going to stir this one gently, go a lot slower. Oh, still. Okay, so now it's all gone. That took 23 seconds. So stirring gently, it took 23 seconds for all of the salt to dissolve in the water. Okay, so then finally, we're going to go with not stirring at all. Okay, I won't need the stirring spoon for this because we're not stirring it. Okay, so we'll start the timer now. Okay, so I'm just going to let this sit there until it all dissolves. So once this is closer to being finished, I'll put in the comments, I'll put in the video description what time you can skip to, because you don't really want to sit here for 5 minutes and watch this dissolve. I mean, that's what real science is like, but it kind of sucks. So I'll just let you skip that part. So it's been a minute. You can still see there's definitely like sparkling salt crystals sitting at the bottom. Sorry, the inside of the glass is a little blurry. The camera's focusing on the outside of the glass, but you can still see that there's salt crystals in there. Okay, so we're at the 2 minute mark now. There are definitely still salt crystals sparkling in there. And so at this point, it's pretty clear that this is going to take a lot longer than either of the two glasses where I stirred the salt crystals, but I'm going to keep it up there just because, I don't know, maybe this has a potential for a time lapse so we can watch the salt disappear over time. Maybe you guys wouldn't think that's interesting, but I think it would be cool to see, like, just once. Okay, so we're now at the 3 minute mark. Most of the salt crystals are gone, but there's definitely still a little bit left. No. So I realized turning the glass is going to ruin the time lapse. Okay, so we're now at 4 minutes, and the crystals are mostly gone. There, that's good focus. So hopefully after like another minute or two, they'll be gone completely. My arm's getting tired. Hindsight, I could have just moved the camera. Oh well. Okay, so that's 5 minutes. I'm gonna call time there. Not gonna hold it anymore. There were still some salt crystals left, but they were pretty much gone.